Very excited to be joined on the show by a veteran of 1,001 NHL games, two-time Stanley Cup champion, the man whose jersey hangs in the rink in Maple Ridge, British Columbia. Andrew Ladd joins us. How's it going, Andrew?
Good, guys. How you doing?
Fantastic.
Good.
We're going to talk a lot about the 1616 project and the Ladd Foundation, but something that happened last night that I'm really curious to get your thoughts on, the return to the ice for Jonathan Toews, his first game in 910 days as a former teammate of Toews. I guess, how unsurprised are you that he's able to make a comeback like this?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm surprised. I think you still, after taking that long off, you're wondering how long it's going to take him to get back into just the pace of the game. I don't think, his skill level and his IQ is always going to be there. I think it's the pace and getting up to speed with such a fast young game now. So it's great to see him back, and he played a lot last night. So it's a good way to get back in it.
Yeah, you kind of got to get right back on that horse, right? And you're a guy just like me. We lasted well into our 30s. It's hard to play. And, obviously your ties to Winnipeg, right? Like, you played a lot of hockey there. What's your thoughts on everyone now? Like the big contracts being signed in Winnipeg, keeping Scheifele, keeping Hellebuck, Kyle Connor, the next guy to drop. Obviously that was a market where a lot of guys didn't really want to go to at times. What does that mean to you? And what's your take on the Winnipeg Jets here?
Yeah, I think it's one of those places where you get there and the organization treats you really well. They got great people. It's a great community. And once you settle in, it's a place that you'd want to stay. So I think you've seen that with those core guys sticking around. I think they have a great group that it's going to be a good team for a long time. And I at this day and age, I think that's the most enticing thing. If you can have an organization or a team that is going to have a chance to win every year, then that's a primary thing for most guys.
I mean, everyone talks about the cold, but you'll suck it up through the cold if you think you have a shot at the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, you're spending most of your days in that rink anyways. So, Hutz will attest, like you're literally going from the house to the rink. And if you have kids, it's there's not much else going on in your life anyways. So, I had nothing but good things to say about Winnipeg. We enjoyed our time there, the community, the people. So I think people really, really feel that when they're there.
I want to talk a bit about your new venture, 1616. Give the listeners sort of the base explanation of what it is and why it's your passion.
Yeah, this is I think it's our fourth year. And we've doubled enrollment every year. So we've gone from 10 teams in a pilot to over 438 last year. It's a free digital program that we try to teach kids the Buffalo mindset. So it focuses on more of the mental game than the physical game. I think this day and age, we spend so much time on the physical aspect of sport, and we expect kids at such a young age to have a level of maturity that I don't know if they're ready for yet. So 1616 is there to come in and really teach them some foundational skills in the mental side. And the Buffalo mindset, which it's called 1616 because that's when they coined the term Buffalo. Because when a storm hits, Buffalo is the only animal that doesn't run away from the storm. So they band together and go into the storm together. So that's the mindset we're trying to teach kids is, hey, when tough things hit, don't run away from them. Leverage the people around you and go towards those, and those will make you stronger moving forward.
Andrew, how did this come to, right? Like, for me, I reflect now as a player with my career, and my kids are in sports, we're playing, and a lot of times it is educating parents too, right? People get this concept of like what hockey is, and I guess for me, as I retired, you reflect on all the things the game taught you. Like, how did this come to fruition that you wanted to be involved in this?
Yeah, my wife and I had always been supportive of mental health, and I think one of the things we really noticed was that space was very reactive and not very proactive. And Hutz is an athlete, you get that you want to build a foundation that is proactive. So when you get hit wrong or when something happens, that your body's able to sustain that. So I think it makes sense to me for us to get to kids at a young age and build that foundation. And it really happened to me. I was in with the Islanders. It was COVID year, so they didn't want me with the NHL team. They didn't want me in the minors. So I was literally skating by myself every day. I would text Lou at probably, the Islanders would play. I'd text him at 10:30 at night and be like, "Hey Lou, what time can I come skate tomorrow?" He, the ... shows up on my phone. I'm like, okay, he's going to answer me. And he'd be like, "Hey, you can come in at 2 tomorrow." like, okay, cool. So I'd come in at 2 the next day. I'd work out, skate by myself. And while I was doing that, I was working with a mental performance coach, and he's like, hey man, like you can just keep skating by yourself the whole year, but like, what would you be proud of at the end of this year? And that was really the start of 16-16. I was going through something mentally tough and trying to tap into a different purpose. And that was really the start. So that catapulted us to take an idea into, hey, how do we actually take this into action? And that is why 16-16 exists today.
That's so good. I think for me, like even reflecting on my time with you in Arizona was a tricky time in my career, right? I had an ankle injury. I came back, was hurt again. It was kind of the beginning of the end for me, right? And as you start to get into that phase of your life when, hockey's coming to an end, what becomes important for you and, where do you change, right? So I think for you, like, is this something where you want to keep growing? I know you have a cast of guys involved, right? You have so many great NHLers you've played with that are involved. And I feel like this must be an easy sell to get guys to help out. And I'm sure there's a lot of interest from former players as well.
Yeah, guys have been fantastic. And I think what makes it unique is we actually use the power of story. So we teach all of our curriculum, which is confidence, connection, and character, through the stories of current and former NHL and PWHL players. So the kids are learning from, Mark Giordano and how he kind of just kept working on his own game and he was a late bloomer and everything wasn't happening for him when he was 10 and 12. He just kept focusing on, hey, how do I improve every day? And what mindset was needed for that in order to get to that next level. And obviously he ended up having an amazing career. So kids are able to kind of see him and understand like, oh, like a lot of NHL players, and you'll know this, is like, they're going through the same thing that 10-year-old kid is going through, right? They have confidence issues. They wonder, oh, like, where do I fit into this group? They have moments of resilience that they need to tackle throughout the season. So the idea that's not happening at an NHL level is it's not a reality. And I think the more that we can talk about it as pros, the more kids understand that, hey, that's just a normal thing that we need to figure out as human beings. And guys understand that at that level, so they're more than happy to impact that next generation of players.
I'm looking on the site here. First off, it's totally free, which I think is awesome. That's such a good little gateway, and it just kills one of those barriers to entry. But I'm reading 10-week program designed to engage players, hockey parents, and coaches. And I mean, a lot of people, all the people watching, listening to the show are hockey parents. Explain that angle of it, like a hockey parent who's signing up for this. What are they going to get from the program?
Yeah, I think, first of all, there's a knowledge base that you accrue over the course of your career. And by the end of their career, you're like, oh, okay, like I've learned a lot from like making mistakes and just experiencing all these different things. And we also understand that, hey, parents of young kids, and they might not have that same knowledge base. So to understand why those concepts are important, and then B, hey, how do I actually reinforce those with my kids? So, and same with coaches, right? Coaches, they're volunteers. They're figuring stuff out on the go. So part of it is for us is really, hey, how do we get that knowledge and support to those parents and coaches so that they understand A, why these concepts are important, and then B, hey, how do I support these kids in these concepts, ensure that like we're doing our best to help develop these kids, not only as hockey players, but as humans too.
Yeah, well, that's great too. Cause I feel like for me, there's that transition period as a player when you're done. And obviously I've kind of got my foot into media, and this has got to be rewarding for you, right? With your experiences, being able to share them and be around this. And, is there a plan to continue to grow this, or like this is just the initial phase? And when do you guys come out? Next Monday, right? Is that right?
Yeah, so the program opens. I'll give you a few things on the program. It opens October 13th, so that'll open to, and it's any kid ages. It's U13 is kind of the age 10 to 12. So if you're a 10 to 12-year-old hockey player or team, like this program is completely free, and then it'll stay open until January 1st. So teams can join at any time from October 30th to January 1st and go through the 10-week program. And it literally takes 20 minutes per week. So that's not 20 minutes a day, that's 20 minutes a week. So you'll watch like a 5 or 6 minute video every week. And I did it with my team last year, and we did it as a group. So before practice, we'd watch the 5 to 6 minute video, have a little discussion about the concept and why it was important and what the kids were thinking about it. And then as a coach or parent, you're just trying to find different moments throughout the week, which, the great thing about sports is there's lots of those moments to reinforce those concepts.
I threw the link in our YouTube chat if people want to check it out, 1616.org. If you're a podcast listener and you want to go find it. I did promise the YouTube chat I'd send you one of their questions. So you got to bear with me here. Bert sent one in, and he wants to know, what was your first impression of Dustin Byfuglien as a teammate, and do you have a good big Buff story?
Oh, man, I got lots of Buff stories. My first, I'll tell you the first time I met Buff, or I didn't meet him. I ran into Buff. I'll say that literally on the ice, but he was playing in Prince George and I was in Calgary. And at that time I was running through everything and I'd finished all my checks and Buff was playing in PG. And I'm like, who is this guy? And he's just like, looked like he was wearing no shoulder pads and he was playing D. And first time I have him lined up and I think I'm like dead right. So I'm going to absolutely bury this guy. And I hit him and I was like, just knocked every last bit of oxygen out of my body. So that was my first impression of Buff. And then you get to see him throughout, we played together, same age. So throughout junior and then coming into Chicago, just seeing how he was. But man, what's a good Buff story? I think there's just like the pure strength of Buff. One thing, it was funny, there was kind of a switch for him when in the playoffs in 2010 we won. It was like in the finals, he finally figured out how big and strong he was. And I think everyone remembers he buried Chris Pronger in the corner and Pronger's this massive human being. It doesn't happen very often to him. So there was like a level of confidence that he gained from that. And I still remember I got married the summer after our year in Atlanta, and he was in the pool with probably 5 massive humans on him, and they were just wrestling. It was like Ben Eager and Toews and Seabrook, and he was like had all 4 of them on his shoulders and was just tossing them around the pool. And that was just the biggest smile on his face, and that was Big Buff every day, just like this big teddy bear, but didn't truly understand his own strength. And when he figured that out, he was pretty unstoppable.
That's great.
I appreciate the time, Andrew. This is great. Again, 1616.org, a really, really cool program for people to go check out. Thanks for popping on.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate having me.
Hey, hockey fans, if you enjoyed that video, then make sure you hit the subscribe button right here on the Daily Faceoff YouTube. We have you covered for everything you need. Exclusive interviews on The Sheet with Jeff Merrick, all the latest hockey news on Daily Faceoff Live, and you can always get your morning started with Johnny Lazarus and Colby Cohn on Morning Cup of Hockey. Don't miss a minute. Hit that subscribe button.